Petty criminal gun street Terry Leather owns a failing car sales garage and feels harassed by two debt collectors. His friend, the photographer Kevin Swain's ex-girlfriend, a former model named Martine Love, offers Terry a chance to earn enough money to never worry about debt again. Bank robbery in Baker Street, London. Leather gathers his petty criminal friends, including Swain, a pornographic actor Dave Schilling, a Cypriot mechanic named Bamboos, and an elegant conman, Major Guy Singer. While scouting out the bank, Leather and Love enter the inspect and fall while Schilling poses for photographs by Swain. The gangster Lou Fogel, who keeps records of his payoffs to police at Lloyd's Bank, happens upon Schilling and Swain. They lease a shop named Lisac 2 lots away from the bank and dig a tunnel under the chicken-in fast food restaurant to reach the underground bank vault. Terry employs Eddie Burton, one of his garage workers, as a watchman with a walkie-talkie to sit on the roof to keep a lookout. Martine, once caught smuggling heroin into Britain and wanting to avoid jail, set them up for this job on behalf of MI5, which desires the contents of a certain safe deposit box, number 118. This box contains sensual and compromising photos of a member of the British royal family. The photos and box belong to a black militant gangster who calls himself Michael X. He uses the photos to avoid trouble with the Metropolitan Police, and MI5 is charged with keeping the photos out of circulation. As Terry's crew digs, the radio chatter draws the attention of a local amateur radio operator, who overhears the conversation and realizes a robbery is in progress. He calls the police, who begin to search their 10-mile radius and listen for concrete details to pin the robbery down. Terry's crew breaks through and loots the vault, as Martine goes for the photo deposit box. A suspicious Terry opens it with her and, upon seeing the pictures, realizes Martine's hidden agenda. Among the photos are many of high-ranking government officials, including a senior MP, in compromising positions in a local S&M brothel. The robbers take this with money and other valuables. Terry arranges for alternate transportation to be safe, throwing off MI5 who had intended to intercept them. Guy and Bambas escape with their share and Terry confronts Martine over the photos, who explains the unfolding predicament. The robbery was discovered. The police corrupt ones receiving payoffs, and honest ones begin an investigation while MI5 continues their search. Also joining the search for Terry's crew is Lou Fogel, an organized crime figure worried about the contents of his ledger, which lists payoffs he made the police, which was stolen in the robbery. He informs Michael X that the royal portrait had gone missing, and Michael X becomes suspicious of Gail Benson, a British spy who loves his American colleague, Black Power militant Hakim Jamal, and has traveled with him and Jamal to Trinidad. Remembering the encounter with Schilling outside of the bank before the robbery, Fogel has him tortured for information with Sandblaster. Schilling breaks and Fogel goes to Terry's garage and kidnaps Eddie, the lookout. Meanwhile, a senior minister in the government, Lord Drysdale, is shown photos of himself in the brothel run by Sonia Byrne and agrees to help absolve the robbers and secure their safe passage. Meanwhile, MI5 issues a D notice forbidding press reports. Police simultaneously release recordings of the walkie-talkie conversations in the hope that someone will recognize the voices. Fogel's accomplice, corrupt detective Carol Pike, shoots Dave and threatens to shoot Eddie unless Fogel gets his ledger back. Fogel agrees with Terry to meet him at Paddington Station in London. During this time, Guy and Bambas are murdered by a person unknown, and Michael X has Benson killed in Trinidad by associates. Terry has Kev give the same instruction to Detective Sergeant Roy Given, the officer in charge of the investigation, citing knowledge of corrupt officers under Fogel's control. He convinced Fogel to go to Paddington Station at the same time, offering him the ledger in return for Eddie's safe return. Terry heads to the rendezvous while Martine meets up with Tim Everett, her original contact in MI5, on a bridge overlooking the scene. Fogel and his corrupt police arrive with the mechanic but recognize the MI5 agents and run. The deputy head of MI5 hands over the passports Terry bargained for in return for the photos of the princess. Terry then chases Fogel and in a fight knocks out Fogel and his thugs, including corrupt detective Nick Barton. Detective Given, an officer in charge of the investigation, arrives to see the robbers arrested. He speaks with the MI5 officers present, who directed the police to let the robbers go. Terry gives the ledger to the police officer before he, Kevin, and Eddie leave the scene. Fogel and the corrupt officers are arrested instead. Everett personally supervises Michael X's arrest in Trinidad and Tobago and has Brenson's remains exhumed for burial in Britain. The final scenes have Terry and Martine saying goodbye, and Terry and his family enjoying a relaxed and carefree life on a small motor yacht on their own off a sunny beach.